All right, hey guys, here we are again, virtual. Um, Last week we were snowed in, iced in. This week, many of us don't have water, including myself. And one reason that I am in my car this evening is we're actually staying with some friends that do have water. And so we're blessed to have people that look out for us in times of need, and I hope all of you guys do as well. But it's much quieter in my car because obviously I'm a family of 6, and the family that we're staying with is a family of 7, and so 13 of us. It's loud, and that's okay. I am not complaining one bit. But anyway, I just wanted to get with you guys real quick. I'm not going to keep you real long this evening. It's getting dark on me for one, and so hopefully I can get this done before it gets too dark. I don't really have any announcements for you guys tonight. I'll post those on GroupMe and on Facebook and those avenues later on. But real quick, I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about priorities. And before I dive real deep into that, I want to read a couple of stats here to you guys, and this is just based on just various studies that have been done. The amount of time per month that the average person spends on social media is 104 hours. That's per month. 104 hours per month. That is the average amount of time spent on social media. The next one that I found interesting, the peak time. So like the most, the time where the most TV is being watched is during the workday. That's interesting. That more TV is watched during the workday than any other time. And then lastly, the amount of time spent per month by the average person watching TV, whether it's TV or Netflix or Hulu or Disney Plus or whatever it is that you guys watch. This number, 121 hours a month. 121 hours per month. So if you break that down, that's roughly about 2 months out of the year that is spent watching TV. And just for argument's sake, or just for kicks, if you take that number, take that 121 hours a month, or 2 months out of the year that you're watching TV, the average person, when they get to be age 65, has spent 9 years of their life watching TV. That number is just an absurd number. So that being said, so let's talk a little bit about that. We live today in a society where everyone desires instant gratification. If we have to wait too long in a drive-through, we get mad. We get impatient while we're waiting on our food to come out of the microwave. Because, 3 minutes for a bag of popcorn, I want that popcorn now. That seems like a long time, 3 minutes. Or any amount of time having to wait at a doctor's office. Or like me and my wife, we went out to eat last night with friends. And we get to the restaurant, it's Saturday night, 6 o'clock. And they tell us, oh, it's going to be a 30-minute wait. Well, that's really not that bad when you consider the time and everything that we were going. But still, it's like 30 minutes. I got to wait a whole nother 30 minutes before I eat. And so we think about that. We think about how angry, or maybe not angry, but how irritated we might get if we have to spend some extra time waiting for something. But then, as I just read, the average American spends, or the average person spends, if you add the two numbers together, 225 hours a month between social media and television. And so we waste more time than ever before. So it doesn't really make sense. We talk about all this time that we don't like to wait 3 minutes for the popcorn, or we don't like to wait 30 minutes to get a table at a restaurant, or we don't like to wait too long at the drive-thru. But yet we will waste 225 minutes in a month. That's over 9 hours a month that we spend, or no, not 9 hours. It's over 9 days in a month that we spend just wasting our time. It doesn't make sense, really. It's sort of an oxymoron, if you will. Waiting more than a minute and a half for a cheeseburger and a milkshake at the drive-thru, it's something that upsets us. So you would think surely we must hate wasting time, yet we just do. We spend all this time on social network, on our phones, or on our watching TV. If you think about it, 9 days a month wasted on things that probably, and I would say most likely, have no significant importance. So we act like we hate wasting time, yet we gladly give away 9 days or more of our 30 days a month. So with that in mind, I think it's safe to say that we could all benefit from learning to manage our time a little better. You students that are listening, middle school and high school, those are the best times to learn about time management. Learning how to manage your time. If you want to graduate with grades above a D, you're going to have to learn to manage your time. If you learn good time management now, it's going to be easier to manage your time when you go off to college. If you do that, it's going to be easier to manage your time when you graduate college, or when you go back into the world, into the workforce. And so if you think that time management is essential now, just wait till adult life hits you. I can testify to that. Time management is extremely important. So, as with any issue, the first thing that we should do is see if the Bible has anything to say about it, if God's Word has anything to say about it. And so the first place that we look at that I want to read tonight is Psalms 90, verse 12. It says, "Teach us to number our days, that we may gain a heart of wisdom." All right, so what does it mean to number your days? I mean, let's think about it. We may not know the exact number of days that we have to live. We do know, though, that we don't live forever on this earth. So keeping that in mind, we have a small number of days that make up our life. So how do you feel about the way that you spend your days? There's different types of people. Are you a planner? Maybe you're one that does plan. You take care of the important things before moving on to do the fun things. Okay, that's good. I fall a little bit into this next category as a procrastinator. I kind of push everything of importance to the last possible minute, and then I'm scrambling around trying to get it done. Or maybe you're the one that you don't even think about how you spend your time. You just let whatever happens happen. I know a lot of people like that. But most importantly, the question we need to be asking is, where does God fit into any of that? All right. So going back to the Word, Ephesians 5, verse 15, going through 17, says, "Be careful then how you live, not as unwise, but as wise, making the most of every opportunity, because the days are evil. Therefore, do not be foolish, but understand what the Lord's will is." All right, so let me ask you this, students. Have you ever had a test that you just didn't study for? You knew it was happening. You knew when it was. You knew what you needed to study. You knew that you needed to study for it, and you just didn't do it. Maybe you didn't do it because life just got in the way, or that TikTok videos, you just couldn't turn away from TikTok or Facebook or whatever, Twitter, whatever it is you're doing, or the new Disney Plus movie that just came out. Or maybe, so maybe life just got in the way. Maybe your priorities weren't exactly where they should be. Either way, when this happens, there is a common prayer that happens, and that would be, God, give me wisdom for this test. Now, did you ever think that maybe God already gave you wisdom for this test? You know, that test that you knew about, the one you knew what to study but didn't, even though you had the time and the resources. Wisdom would have been using the time that God gave to you and the brain that God gave to you and studying. So this verse that I just read says to be careful to live as wise. So how does that relate to what we're talking about here when we're talking about time management? More than you think. So look at it this way. How you spend your hours adds up to how you spend your days. How you spend your days adds up to how you spend your life. So if you're spending your days wasting time and avoiding what you need to do, that is essentially how you're spending your life. And that, guys and girls, is not wise. Okay, so this verse, it also urges us to, quote, make the most of every opportunity. Do not be foolish, but understand what the Lord's will is. All right, so end of quote there. Do you know the best way to understand what the Lord's will is? I hope you do, because we've talked about this. Those of you that have been in class with me know it's by spending time with the Lord. Spending time with Him, praying, reading your Bible. The more you're spending time with Him, the easier it will be to make the most of every opportunity. So, James 4:14 says, why? You do not even know what will happen tomorrow. What is your life? You are a mist that appears for a little while and then vanishes. Okay, that one stings a little bit, right? Your whole life, the one you're so concerned about, the one filled with good and bad and happy and sad, it's but a mist that appears for a little while and then vanishes. So in other words, your life is just a little blimp in the grand scheme of time. Let me see if I can get a little light in here. Maybe a little bit. That's a little better. All right. So it's but a mist that appears for a little time and then it vanishes. Why not make the absolute most of it? There's this idea, and we hear people say it, that to enjoy life, you just need to be this free spirit who is spontaneous and goes with the flow. Don't ever plan anything. You know, there's a lot of people, I know some of these people, you probably do too, that choose to live life that way. But the bottom line is this: if you want to make the most out of your life, you can only do that by learning to manage your time. Whether or not you decide to take charge of your time, it's going to pass you by anyway. Monday through Friday, you're going to go to class, or maybe not go to class so much as do your schoolwork. I know a lot of us are not actually physically going to class right now. But you're Monday through Friday, you're doing your classwork, you're doing your homework, you're doing your exams, your tests, you're writing papers. You know, those of you that are in high school and those of you that are going to be headed to high school soon, you know, those 4 years of high school are going to happen regardless of whether you manage your time. But if you want to make the most of them and you want to live them the way the Bible says you should, managing your time in a wise way is a must. So, how do you do that? Let's do this real quick. 3 things, 3 simple ways. The very first one is make God your number one priority. No matter how busy you get, no matter how much you have to do, no matter what you do, spending time with God needs to be your number one priority. If that means you've got to get up earlier, then wake up earlier. If that means you have to sacrifice something extra, like that 225 hours a month that you're spending watching TV or watching TikTok videos or whatever it is, If you've got to sacrifice something, then so be it. But I can guarantee this is one choice you will not regret making. Making God your number one priority. You will not regret it, I promise. Number 2, prioritize the things in your life. Regardless of how you might feel, students, school is a priority right now. That means that for the school year, that means for classes and tests and papers and projects, all of that stuff comes before those late night movies or those weekends spent doing nothing with your friends, or the countless hours we spend making or watching TikTok videos. One of the best ways to remember your priorities, and here's just a little tidbit hint here, get you a calendar or a planner or something and write things down when they're due or when you need to study or whatever, so you can kind of keep it straight. And then the last thing, hold yourself accountable. After you know what your schedule should be, pray over it. Ask God to help you achieve everything that you need to achieve in that time that you need to achieve it. Ask Him to help you manage your time better. Then I would say this: find someone that's going to hold you accountable. Maybe it's me. Maybe if you say, hey, Pastor Adam, will you text me and help keep me accountable here that I need to read my Bible first thing every morning, or and we're already doing some of that with some of you guys, or maybe it's a parent, or maybe it's a teacher, or maybe it's just one of your other friends that's maybe struggling with managing their time better. Either way, getting a daily or a weekly text asking you, hey, how are you doing with your time management right now? Are you managing your time better? That can be a great motivator, because you're like, I've had to do that where I've had somebody message me like, hey, did you do this today? And it's like, at first it's like, oh yeah, they're reminding me, but then it eventually turns into man, when they message me, I want to be able to say, yeah, I'm on top of it. I don't want to have to say, oh man, I forgot. So, but another way to hold yourself accountable is to write down these verses. Go back and watch this video and write down those verses that I shared with you. Write those down. Those talk about how we should spend our days. Put them somewhere where you can see them. Save them on your phone. Save them as a screensaver or whatever. But put them somewhere where you can see them. And then, if you do that, after all, spending hours on say TikTok isn't really enjoyable when you're looking at a verse that reminds you how short your life is, or how your priorities should be, where your priorities should be. So anyway, in closing, those 3 things are the things that are going to help you get the most out of your time. Make God your number one priority, prioritize the things in your life, and then hold yourself accountable. So to close up, you guys, you're constantly learning new things, all the time. We're always learning new things. And hopefully, something I said tonight, about priorities or time management is one of those things. It isn't just a good skill to have. It's also a step in the direction of living how God has called us to live. We always hear that, you only live once. This generation says YOLO, I think, to abbreviate it, because it's harder to say you only live once, apparently. But yes, we only do live once, but we also only live for a short time. How would we break that down to something? Yol fast. It's got the word fast in it. So Yol fast. You only live for a short time. Okay, I'm done. That was crazy. So there are going to be things that you have to do. There's going to be things that you want to do, and there are going to be things that God calls you to do. It can seem like a lot, and it can pile up really fast. But I say all that to say this: if you're prepared by having the right mindset, the mindset that knows God has blessed you with this life and you want to make the most of it that you can, your time spent will be so much better for you. The rest of this year and forward will be so much better for you if you can just get in that mindset that knows that God has blessed you with this life and you want to make the most of it that you can. Middle school, high school, those are 7 years of your life. You know, if you want to make the most of those years, learning to manage your time, learning your priorities is one of the best places to start. And God is the best one to help you with that. So ask him to help you. If you need more, if you don't know how to do that, reach out to me or somebody that you know that can help you. But ultimately, he's the one that's going to help you. So ask him to help you this year. He loves you more than anything, and he wants to see you succeed with the life that he has blessed you with. Guys, I'm here as a vessel for him too. I want to see the same thing. I want to see each and every one of you students succeed in life, and anything that I can do to help you, that I can pray about or talk through with you about, you know, reach out to me, reach out to somebody that you know you can trust. But let's do this together, guys. Let's figure out our priorities. I mean, that's crazy. Going back to that stat that I read where by the time we're 65, we will have wasted 9 years of our life watching TV or spending time on social media. That is a crazy number, guys. 225 hours a month spent on social media and TV, 9 days a month doing nothing, guys. So hopefully, you know, some of you might be under that, some of you might be over that. I can probably think of some of you that might be over that, that are regulars in our group. But either way, no matter where we're at, guys, whether you're whether you're average, above average, below average on those numbers, you know, God can help you with those priorities. I'm here to help you any way that I can. Guys, I hope you have a great week. I love you guys. I hate it when we don't get to meet in person, but I am thankful for technology to allow us to still get a message out to you guys. Barring any surprises, we should be in person next week. I hope and pray that we are. And so I know we got a lot of stuff coming up, and we'll talk about all of that. But for now, I'm going to let you guys go, and we will talk to you guys next week. Guys, you have my number. You know how to get hold of me if you need anything. Talk to you guys later. Bye.